What about all these things that we do that are not a halacha or not even a real minhag, just like a habit? How holy are those things? I just want to say something really central to Yiddishkeit, maybe a little related to this. There's Torah shebiksav, there's Torah shebal peh, there are minhagim, there are takonos, and there are minhagim of chassidim that came only the last 50 years, 60 years. If you could use your imagination, there are so many things that God wants us to know about Him. He wrote some of it down. He told some of it to Moshe orally. He revealed it to prophets, some of the stuff in later generations. Then He inspired Chachamim to make new customs, to introduce mitzvahs d'Rabbanan. How does He choose what to write, what to make oral, what to wait for a later generation with, and what should become a takana through a tzaddik or a rebbe or holy women? How would you do it? What would you write down? What would you say orally? And what would you tell through tzaddikim? I think what you write down can't be terribly personal. If you're putting it into a book, if you're writing it down, it's not the most personal things in the world. When you want to reveal something more personal, you say it. You don't write it. You certainly don't text it. That's not personal at all. You want to say something even more personal, like really private and intimate, then you whisper it to your best friend, to a tzaddik, to a rebbe. So the things that seem to be just little minhagim that a rebbe introduced, could that possibly be as important as what's written in the Torah? Is it possible that that's much more important than what is written in Torah? That it had to wait so long before we were even ready to hear it? Is that possible? Is it possible that with every passing year, the Eibishter gets more desperate for us to know Him, so He reveals more about Himself that He never told us before? Isn't that true in your relationship with your mother? What did she tell you when you were 6? To wash your face. To not spill the food all over the place. Personal, intimate things, you don't say that to a 6-year-old. But then you got older, and she started telling you more, or showing you more of herself. You don't know your mother. You can't possibly know your mother. She won't let you. She can't. Once you become a mother, she's going to tell you things you never even suspected about her. But when you're a mother, she can tell you things about herself that you would never have appreciated or understood before. And that's still not the whole story. When your children give you a really hard time, and they will, when your children are rebelling the way you did, and you're starting to worry about them, and you're feeling really bad about it, now your mother will tell you stuff she would have never told you before. about how she felt when you were growing up and what it was doing to her. This is really personal stuff. And that's why she couldn't tell you before. So as you grow older, and as you get to be more like her, you find out things about her that are much deeper, much more personal, much more significant than anything she told you until then. And she certainly wouldn't write it to you in a letter. So, the things that seem to be the least important, like what tefillah, what prayer do you say when you light the candles? I don't know, it's not written in the Torah, I don't know. Say what you want, what's the difference? It's not written in the Torah, it can't be so important. Whoa, no. It is a minhag Yisrael that's not even written in Torah. Be very serious about this. This is hot stuff. So don't dismiss, don't take lightly things like chitas. I mean, how important can chitas be? I gotta tell you something. I was so surprised. I was talking to a guy who's not a Lubavitcher. He's got problems with Lubavitch. And I said, what? He's got problems with everybody, so it was okay. And I said, what problems do you have with Lubavitch? He says, are you kidding? I was. I know what problems he has, but he caught me by surprise. He says, are you kidding? Chitas. You have a problem with chitas? He said, my God, you don't even know. You have no idea what that sounds like to everybody outside of Lubavitch. I said, what does it sound like? What in the world could be wrong with chitas? He says, do you know what this sounds like to a non-Lubavitcher? Moshe, David, and your Rebbe. That's chitas. What a chutzpah. We're so offended by that. I said, whoa. See, did you ever think of that? Say chitas. What Moshe wrote, what David wrote, and what the Alter Rebbe wrote. How can you compare the Alter Rebbe to David HaMelech? This guy, I had a conversation with him before, and we got into a big argument about whether David HaMelech actually sinned or not. And he said, I know what the Gemara says. I know. The Gemara says that anyone who thinks that David sinned is mistaken. But come on, between me and you, it was a sin. He committed adultery. Come on. So when he said, how dare you put the Alter Rebbe, I said, what? The Alter Rebbe never committed adultery. I said, where does David HaMelech fit in, And besides, Alter Rebbe never hit the rock. So how important can chitas be? It's a takana that the Frierdiker Rebbe was megala. It's only a couple of decades old, and it was not written in Torah. It's not in the Shulchan Aruch. It's not. Why is it not in the Torah? Why is it not in the Shulchan Aruch? And why did it wait 5,300 years to be revealed? The world wasn't ready for this until now? It's that holy? So we really should look at it from a very different perspective. The things that the Eibishter can reveal only by talking to a tzaddik must be the most personal and the most intimate and the most significant things of all.